All right, now when you look at a roadmap, what does a roadmap show you? It shows you where to go, right? So you trying to predict or you trying to analyze on where price could potentially go, right? So this is what we use support and resistance for, right? Cool. So this is what we use support and resistance for, right? So as you can see, right, support and resistance as a whole, the definitions are certain predetermined levels of the price of a security at which it is thought that the price will tend to stop and reverse, right? These levels are denoted by multiple touches of price without a breakthrough of the level, right? So when you think of support and resistance, right, I need you to think of support and resistance like a fat man, right? If you poke a fat man in the stomach, what's gonna happen? You said what? It's gonna juggle? Who said that? It's going to bounce back, right? So I need you to think of every single zone, not only of a predetermined number, but I need you to think of it as an area, right? You have to think of support and resistance as an area. Everybody hear what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, cool. Support occurs where a downtrend is expected to pause due to a concentration of the demand, right? So imagine you poking your finger into a fat man's stomach, right? Right? And it's boom, it's bouncing back, right? In the market, that's actually called a retest, right? So when price actually gets to a zone and doesn't break, right? And it doesn't close above or below a zone, right? That is called a retest. Y'all might want to write that down. When the market doesn't close above or below a zone, it's called a retest. Above or below a zone is called a retest, right? Since we're talking about support right now, I need y'all to understand that support means buy. When price is at support, what's gonna happen? Family? When price is at support, what's gonna happen? It's gonna buy. All right. Let's go into resistance. Resistance occurs where an uptrend is expected to pause temporarily due to a concentration of supply, right? So support is where demand comes in, and resistance is where the supply comes in, right? So when price is at resistance, what's gonna happen? It's gonna sell, right? Giving everybody time to write their notes. All right, so check this out. Trend line is a line connecting two or more lows or two or more highs with the lines projected out into the future, right? Now check this out, right? I said support and resistance is the roadmap, right? For example, for the people that's in front of me and for the people that's on the phone, drop a 3 of if you can relate to what I'm finna say. If you've ever looked at a naked chart and didn't know where to start at, raise your hand. If you ever looked at a chart and was like, damn, what do I supposed to do now? Right? I'm giving you that first thing that you need to be able to do. You need to be able to mark up support and resistance, right? That's going to give you your entry points. It's going to give you your take profits. It's going to give you your stop loss if you use it well. And if you use it well enough, you can implement it into some of the products as well, right? Everybody want to learn how to use a product, right? The first step is support and resistance, right? All right, so check this out. I'm actually finna move into the charts. And this is something that I just put together. Can everybody see my chart right now? All right. So I need you to understand that all these zones where the market is pivoting at, these are support and resistance zones, right? So I want you to think of support and resistance as support being the floor and resistance being the ceiling, right? So when you're looking, all right, so does everybody see where my cursor is at? Does everybody see where my mouse is at right now, right? What would we call this level right here? Support. All right. Now the level above that, what would we call it? It's a resistance, right? So check this out. Let's get into market structure, right? Now that y'all understand what support and resistance is, right? I need you to understand that an uptrend starts with a low, it breaks into a high, it breaks into a higher low, then into a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, and then to a pivot point, right? Now, when you're looking on these charts, right, when you're looking at this chart, if you're trying to trade within an uptrend, where would be your entry? Where would you enter it? Where would you enter at? Mike, don't say shit. I know you know. Where would you enter at? What's the biggest move that you see on the uptrend? The biggest move. What's the biggest move? So check this out. The biggest move is going to be the higher high, right? So I need for y'all to understand how price actually reacts into a zone, right? As you can see, price actually broke through this resistance. This resistance is no longer resistance, it's now a support level, right? It is now a support level because price actually closed above resistance. And it came up to test a new resistance level to come back down to test support, right? This right here is called a breakout retest. So if we're looking at this breakout retest and we know this is about to happen, right? And price is in an uptrend, what can we expect to happen next after price hits this newfound support level? I forgot y'all can see me on the phone, man, my fault. So you will actually get in at the higher low, right? So I'm actually finna mark it up for everybody on my chart, right? This is where we will enter at. Boom. Why are we entering off the retest? Because price is rejecting off support, right? A retest is going up. And what happens when we buy? What happens when we trade out of support? We buy, right? So we enter in off the retest of the break, right? So I need y'all to understand that the pivot point up here is the strongest zone in the market, right? When you see something like this, this spots a whole reversal, right? What does pivot mean? A turnaround, right? So you got to understand when price gets up here, it has a turnaround. Also, I need for y'all to understand that price can never get too high and price could never get too low, right? The market lives for equilibrium. So it can't go too high, it can't go too low. It gotta meet back in the middle somewhere, right? So if you keep that mindset, you know that it's eventually gonna come back down, it's eventually gonna go back up, right? Now let's explain the downtrend, right? A downtrend actually starts with a high, which is the pivot point. It moves down into the low, it moves into a lower high, it moves into a lower low, lower high, so on, right? So now that I'm asking y'all, where will we enter this trade at? Why would we enter at the lower high? Right. So check it. Right. So check this out. With an uptrend, I need you to look for everything that's at support. Right. We're trying to buy in the uptrend because why? It's going up. In a downtrend, we're trying to sell every time. So majority of your entries in a downtrend has to be at resistance. Can everybody hear me? Is it kind of hard? I have to speak a little louder, right? So if you look at my charts right now, this is where we will enter the market on a downtrend. We will always enter at resistance, right? We will always enter at resistance, right? So check this out. Now that I done actually given everybody a entry point. Hold on real quick. All right. Like I said, when price actually gets to resistance, this is when you want to sell in a downtrend, right? So now let me ask y'all a few questions, right? When we're in an uptrend, when do we plan on buying in the market? Why at support? Why at support? Because we're expecting price to buy, right? When it's in a downtrend, when will we sell? Resistance, right? So I honestly just simplify everything for y'all, right? Instead of looking at a market going like this, you're trying to find the trend first. That's step one. Find the trend of the market. And you can find that and you can easily identify it from marking up your support and resistance levels, right? Now, I'm gonna actually show y'all where you can place your TPs and where you can place your stop loss, right? So check this out. Let's go back down here to support level at this higher low where I had a circle at, right? So if I'm already expecting price to go back up after this touch right here, I'm gonna hop in right here and I'm gonna ride it up to the next zone I have marked up. Why? Because zones are reversal zones. It's not a guarantee that price is actually gonna break through this zone. So I wanna get out in case it reverse, right? So if I'm riding this up, this is 14 pips, right? So if I know price didn't actually break through this zone right here and it's on its way back up, I'm gonna take my measurement tool and I'm probably gonna go at least 7 to 8 pips down, right? Because I know it didn't break out, so I know it's not gonna go into a selling direction unless news drop, right? The majority of the time it's gonna buy up, right? So it's buying up. That would be your stop loss, and the next zone will be your take profit, right? All right, so check this out. For your stop loss, it's vice versa, right? You identify your support and resistance levels, and you want to put your TP wherever you're entering at the next zone. So let's measure down. The next zone is right here, right? The next zone is right here. And you will be able to tell that it's another zone because when you're really, really trading, you can be able to look to the left to see where the zones are actually at and where it's going to reverse at, right? I have everything pre-written up, but I want y'all to always be looking left to see where the zones and reversal zones are, right? So I will put my TP 15 pips down because that's where the next zone is at. I know it's not going to buy, so I'm gonna put a little 8 to 9 pip take profit, right? Give my trade some room to actually do what it do. All right. So this is actually market structure in a nutshell, right? If you understand this, you understand the basic foundation of trading, right? Now the market goes 3 ways, right? It goes up, it goes down, and it goes sideways, right? So this is a example of the market going sideways, right? This is called a ranging / consolidation. You might hear ranging market or you might hear consolidation. This is what consolidation looks like. If you in the chat, drop a 3 if you ever seen this. If you in the room, raise your hand if you ever seen consolidation on a chart before. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so check this out, right? So with consolidation, right, it's pretty tricky, but if you can learn how to trade it, you will make a lot of money, right? So price is actually going to break in and actually test a resistance level, or if it's or if it's breaking in from the resistance level, it's going to test that support level, right? So since this is breaking in from the support level, it's touching the resistance, right? So boom, we have one touch right here. Now, as a trader, if you see any type of reversal in the market, you need to understand that it's a zone right there. That something is right there preventing price from getting to the next level, right? So keep your eye on that zone, right? As it makes its way back down and it tests right here, like I said, what do you need to do? Keep your eye on that reversal, right? Because honest to truth, even though we got a touch on the resistance and a touch on the support, this is not enough to tell us if these zones are solid yet, right? But say that we go back up, right? And you know it's something right there, but you really don't know, right? Price actually goes up here, it plays a little bit, and then it drops back down, right? Now you have 2 touches at resistance. Now, if you on the call right now, drop a 3 if you can relate to what I'm saying. If you in the room, I want y'all to raise your hand, but what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? I just honestly forgot my train of thought. All right, I got a question. All right, so what indicates a strong zone? How many touches do you need to indicate a strong zone? 2 to 3, right? So we actually now have 2 touches at resistance. So I need y'all to understand that, okay, when price gets here, it's probably gonna come down, right? Because if it's 2 touches right here in the present, then it's probably multiple back in the past, right? Whatever's happening in the present correlates with the past because of support and resistance levels. Keep that up here, right? It comes back down and touches this support. Now we know these are two tested levels, right? We have two touches on each level, right? So now, as we're seeing it make its way back up, we can already start to plan like, okay, when price gets back to this resistance level, I'm gonna sell it because it's not gonna break through, right? But I need y'all to understand that I'm gonna actually give y'all an example on my chart, right? I'm gonna give you an example, right? So you can make money through support and resistance just by trading off of the zones. Now, let me actually show y'all a breakout, right? This might be a little ugly, but work with me. So usually when you get a breakout from resistance, you might see a candle like this. You might see a candle like that, right? For a lot of momentum. So I need you to understand that that next candle is probably going to be like this, right? And that next candle is going to be red. Now, family, why is the next candle going to be red? Right, so its price is actually testing the new found support level, right? So check this out. This is how you know that price is actually testing, right? All right, so this is a little line, it's a little squiggly line. Let me make it a little bit bigger, right? So if you actually seen this, drop a 3 in the chat if you ever seen price do something like this and raise your hand, right? This is what's called a wick. So I need you to understand with wicks, price has sold all the way to this point down here, but bought back up, right? And it's the opposite with a bullish candle. Price has bought all the way up here, but sold to a certain level. That makes sense? Right. So you will actually see these occur. So when you actually see a retest like this, then you know that that next candle might be one of these. It might be one of these, right? So this is what it actually looks like without the candles. It's buying up. It's coming down. And this is gonna happen, right? The retest. Where are we entering? We're entering off of the retest, right? So I need everybody to understand that wherever you enter or whatever happens to the top, you must do to the bottom. So if price actually retests or breaks the bottom, just like it did and closed beneath the bottom and retest, then we selling it. And we selling it for long term because that indicates a trend reversal, right? That indicates a trend reversal. So check this out. If you're in the chat, if you understand trading with a uptrend, if you understand trading in a downtrend, if you understand trading sideways, please drop a 5 in the chat. All right, so everybody that's in the room with me, has it simplified your charts up a little bit more? Yeah. How do you know when consolidating starts? So consolidating actually starts when you can find 2 key levels at resistance and 2 key levels at support, right? And they're not breaking out. This is an example of consolidation. This is an example of consolidation. For those who's asking me to repeat, I've actually recorded this video. I will be dropping it on my YouTube page tonight, along with all the other videos, right? So that's honestly the end of this Zoom call. I'm actually going to come back within maybe an hour 30, and I'm going to show everybody how to use the harmonic scanner, and I'm going to show everybody how to use vibrato. So stay tuned, family. I appreciate y'all for getting on.